And welcome to another episode of Fresher Take. My name is Becki.
My name is Ben.
And today we are going to be talking about all things funding, how to budget at uni, and how to get help if you need it. We are joined by a very special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but welcome Malene.
Yes. Hi, I'm Malene. I am a student content creator for Student Life, and I'm also a third-year media production student and have frequently struggled with budgeting.
As we all have, to be fair,
Yeah.
let's be honest. I think all of us, I think it's one of the biggest things when you come to uni is understanding that you now have all this money that maybe you didn't have before. And how do you control that? How do you spend it wisely so that you're not in your overdraft, if you have one, 24/7? Like, I know some people really are.
I think one of the things that's really important or can help a lot is to talk to your parents or whoever you're living with beforehand about all the hidden expenses that you forget, because we're all like, oh yeah, we need to eat and we need to wear clothes, but you forget that you need something to wash dishes in, and also now you're in charge of buying the toilet paper.
I think when you're a student, like you said, Becki, the amount of times that you sort of go, I have all this money, I have no one controlling me, I've not got parents buying food for me anymore, I can do my own sort of thing. I think the sort of done thing is sort of you just buy what you want because you can afford it, sort of thing, and that can get you, whilst the novelty wears off pretty quickly when you realise that you have to live off packet noodles for 2 weeks because you've spent all your money. So I think it's important to understand that you kind of do need to rein it back a little bit. I know uni is good fun, uni is amazing, best 3 years of your life and stuff, but you still need to be able to live. You still need to be able to sort of not just live off the bare minimum of stuff. So overspending is something that I've definitely experienced.
But also maybe if you're in the position to save a little bit before you come to uni, kind of accepting that during Freshers Week, you're gonna be going a little bit crazy and you're still settling in, and maybe if you can give yourself a buffer just right at the beginning, being okay, I'll give myself 2 weeks to just kind of enjoy this new freedom I have and buy all the crazy cereal I wasn't allowed to eat as a kid or whatever, and then I'll get it out of my system, and then after the first 2 Freshers Week, I'll settle down and try and figure out, okay, how am I gonna go forward? But then if you have the ability to save a little bit, it'll help so you're not, ruined financially for those last 2 weeks of that month.
I think that's literally sort of what I exactly did. I think the first 2 weeks of uni were wild, and then
the first 2 weeks, I was months.
I mean money-wise, money was bad. I remember all I ate those first 2 weeks was literally takeout, and it was takeout after takeout. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, where's my money gone? And suddenly just remembered that I had the whole rest of the year, or at least until the next student finance drop.
Yeah, because that's a thing that I was a little bit surprised about, because I get my student finance maintenance stuff from my government in Denmark, and we get it monthly, so it's if you have a paycheck. So when I came here and I found out that you guys get it 3 times a school year, and I was like, oh, I would not be able to keep track of that.
I think that's what makes it harder though, isn't it? Because you've got to plan months ahead.
Yeah.
To figure out what your budget is, because I know some people pay their rent and things monthly, even though they get their maintenance loan every third, in 3 installments.
Yeah.
So it's literally about planning ahead and knowing, and you never know what's going to crop up. And I think those unexpected things is what gets me. But it's also little things I go to Sainsbury's local far too often.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the money just piles and piles and piles up, and you're like, oh, I've spent that much.
I think as a student as well, though, and especially with the rise of sort of contactless and Apple Pay and Samsung Pay and Google Pay, it's so easy just to sort of go tap, 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 tap to spend your money. And I think sometimes it's hard to realise that not only is that real money, but it's also money that that you can't physically see. So it's so easy, like I said, just to tap it and go, £3, bang, fiver, bang, tenner, bang, and it does add up very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think whilst it is amazing that you're at uni, and like I said, the freedom is what it is almost, you're a victim of your own success. Of the freedom is the greatest thing that you have at uni. So much fun, but you can go a bit overboard, and there are things like contactless that can really be a killer to your finances. So it is really important to at least try and save money.
I would also recommend, if you can, try and maybe almost pay yourself monthly. So divide up the maintenance loan you get and be like, okay, this needs to stretch this amount of months, and then put it in savings and then transfer it into your account that your card is attached to monthly, so that you kind of know that you're not accidentally spending it all, especially because you get one of them in January, which means you have to somehow make Christmas and Christmas present last at the end of a round of money like that.
Yeah, it is the way the system is structured is a whole other podcast, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's also good to say that for this episode, we've teamed up with the University of Lincoln's Student Support Centre, and they have a bunch of information on there about, funds that are available to you if you do need them, if you find yourself really struggling. And it's not a case of, you've binged all your money. It's a case of you genuinely don't have the funds to sustain yourself at university. There's one that I thought was quite intriguing for you, Ben, because I know you travel to and from uni when they're allowed in uni, of course. And so they have a commuting travel grant which helps students like you who have to travel to and from university. Also, they have one that's a course-related travel grant. So I assume this is for people on work placement or nurses or something that have to constantly be moving from place to place. There's things to help them as well. And we also have a term time fund that can just help you with any course-related costs you have there. So going to the Student Support Centre will give you so much more information than I can possibly.
We're good, but we're not that good. We're good, but we're not.
We're good, but we're not. Yeah, we're not that great. But definitely check the site out, because they have a list of so many different funds and bursaries you can get to support yourself and to help yourself. Because I know that things like finance can really put a stress on you and can really make you more anxious and put a downer, if you will, on your time at university. And we don't want that, because like Ben always likes to say, best 3 years of your life.
It is. They're amazing. I love you. Uni is the best thing I've ever done. But it is so hard to remember sometimes that you are an adult. As scary as that is, and I am not, and I will always be a child at heart. But it's so important to remember that you are an adult. You're spending your own money. You have to buy your own food. You have to cook your own food. So whilst, as again we've already alluded to, whilst the the excitement of freshers and meeting new people and doing new things is obviously gonna be something that you all enjoy. You're all gonna go, let's order a Domino's, let's order a pizza, let's order whatever. I think you got to take a step back sometimes and go, right, okay, I can't physically fulfill this all year.
That's also another good thing about Student Support Center and some of the support that's available at the university is it's not just for bursaries and scholarships, but there's also these workshops that can help you start thinking about how to budget and how to spend your money. If this is the first time you've kind of had control of your own money, it's really helpful to just kind of be in a room with people and get some advice and have a specific time to actually sit down and think about your finances. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to support the Student Support Center and checking out what's available there. Yeah. So it's not just making sure you have money, but also helping you how to spend the money.
Yeah, I think it's called make your money go further or something along those lines, of a way of trying to extend your money past the first week of getting your money.
Those skills though, those foundations, those are what you need. They're what not only for university but for life. Like when you leave uni, you're gonna probably get your own place, or maybe move into another house share or something where you have to pay bills.
Yeah.
Because I know right now, uni students, it's all usually one big payment. That's not how it works in the real world. So you have to learn to budget, and you have to know exactly where your money's going and when, so that you have enough and you can live and survive. You need those foundations and those skills as a basis to do that, and that's what those kind of workshops help you do.
Obviously, we're talking about the importance of managing your finances and how good it is to have those workshops available to help you extend your money. But what you were saying as well, Becki, about like the term time funds and stuff like that, like if your income genuinely doesn't meet what you're spending and you are really struggling, that's another, as you've already said, it's another source of income and another source of funding that is available to you to help you get over that time. Because as we've all said, uni's amazing, but if you are sat there stressing about money and not knowing when you're going to be able to afford course related costs or food or something like that, the support centre that we have at the University of Lincoln can really help you with that. And there's government backed funds, there's bursaries, and they will help you find the thing that's right for you. And it's just, I think, important to note when we're talking about like making your money go further, well, if you've not got the money in the first place, it's important to know that there are places available.
For a lot of students, unfortunately, it's not just a case of like, oh, I accidentally bought too many Dominoes. Like, student accommodation can be expensive, and depending on like your family situation and what maintenance loan you get cleared for and all that kind of stuff, it can be a bit more of a struggle. So definitely, like,
I know quite a few people whose like maintenance loan does not even cover their student accommodation, and like I know that's the whole thing and blah blah blah, but like they would have to get their parents to do it, and then it's like, well, where does their money come from? They have jobs, they work so many hours a week, and that can be so stress inducing when you've got uni work, full-time uni work on top of all of that kind of stuff. And I think you have to know what help you can get. Obviously, during this period of time, everything's going on with COVID-19, and lots of people's families have been hard hit by it, especially those who like own businesses and things like that. So, I mean, most people probably don't know that you can, in fact, change or get a reassessment on Student Finance England if you've had like a big drop in household income. It's like 15% or something like that. So they do it from like past tax years. So maybe your parents, were doing better than when COVID hit. And so you can get assessed from like your current financial situation. And a lot of people just think they're stuck with the money that they have been told that they're getting. It's not always the case. Like, do some maybe research into it again, hit up the student support centre or the advice centre. They give a bunch of advice on like everything, like welfare and housing and debt and funding and everything like that. So really research your options.
I would also stress, like, do take the help that is available to you, because I know sometimes like some people feel a bit odd about taking the help that is there, because like, oh well, there's other people who need it more. It's like, no, if you feel like you need it, definitely do like use those avenues. Like, the money is there to help you, and it's not going to take away from anybody else. So definitely, like, if you are struggling, reach out, see what is available, and take advantage of that, because it's going to make your life a lot easier and take a lot of stress off of you that you don't need.
Yeah, definitely. It's just about, like you say, it's using everything that's available to you. I know a lot of people might feel like ashamed, or like, their pride won't let them. They really don't feel like that. You need to be able to get through uni, and money should not be like something that's stressing you out to the point that you can't enjoy your uni experience. So right then, I know that you've done some videos, Malene, on student finance about this and about managing your finances. So as someone that cannot budget to save her life,
what is a budget? Can I hold the budget? Like, what is it?
So
where do I begin?
Yeah, I've tried a lot of different things, and so far what's helped me the most is that this summer, before my third year began, I sat down with my mom and she showed me like her budget and was like, okay, this is how much I spend, here are the different categories, and she literally went through like everything that I would need to spend money on with me. And there are things like, for example, I mentioned Christmas and like birthday presents. Like, you don't think that into your monthly budget because it's like, it's not set expense, but you still need to have the money from that somewhere. So I've like set aside being like, okay, this is the amount I usually spend on the various people I have, and then broke that down by 12 months and started putting that aside so that I know that throughout a 12-month calendar year, it would all like, it would make itself back because I put things like money in savings.
Malene,
And
you're
then-
so good. You're so good.
Honestly,
Like,
it just sounds so mature. Like, I think that's another thing as well. People think of like budgeting as like a mature, like an old, not an older person, but like an adult thing to do.
Someone that's got
Do you
their
know what I
life in check.
I do not
Yeah.
have my life in check, but you can still make a budget. I promise.
Little disclaimer there, yeah.
Yes. Because, like, and then what I did is I just Googled, was like, okay, I need something that's, like, easy, but that also will tell me, like, you know, the categories with the apps we spoke about before. Like, I need to know how much I have left. Because if I'm just putting down what I'm spending, I'm not going to do that math in my head when I look at the numbers. Like, I can't do that. And then I found this, there's a really easy, like, on Google Sheets that just had all like the formulas and stuff worked out for you. So you could put in with like the different categories, like this is how much I have to spend, and then you put in your spending and it automatically subtract it for you. And if you earn more money, because I don't know, if you do like freelancing or something, or your grandparents wanted to send you some money, you can put that in, and then you can kind of be like, oh, I can put that in savings. And that's basically what I did the video on. So if this sounds helpful to you on the Student Life YouTube channel, I do like a complete breakdown of how the budgeting system I use work. But what the key factors for me is that it needed not to be hard. So something that I could like use wherever. And because this is saved on my Google Drive, I can use it on my phone. So if I'm out and about, I can just quickly note down what I've bought, because if I have to like save all my receipts and do it when I get back, it's not going to get done.
A bit like a tax, like you're doing your taxes or something. If you
End of year tax and stuff there, like with calculators and piece of paper everywhere, like what's going on?
Yeah, so for me, it's like it needed to be like fast and like accessible, and also do the math for me, because I won't do the math. So I think if you find like those are the key points for how to stick to a budget, is that it has to be easy, and technology helps.
I also think you have to be willing. Like, yeah, everything is like, you can put in spreadsheets and everything like that, but you have to be willing, because the way I budget, I can't lie, is I look at my bank account every so often and I go, ooh.
Oh no, what have I done?
Interesting. Or like, oh, I have more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
But like, I've only very recently started putting money into my savings. Like, I used to do it when I was younger, which is weird. I used to do it when I was younger, but I just had all my money sat in an account.
So
and that's the worst thing, because I would look at it and be like, oh, I've got
loads
so
of
much. Oh my God, look how much money I have. And then I was like, oh wait, no, I have nothing in savings. Like, I have an ISA that's got £1 in it. Like, maybe I should be putting money into these accounts.
The way my accounts is, I have the account that's linked to my card, and then I have like a savings account where I put the money I'm not currently using but will use in the near future, and then I have like a savings account where like this is for, I'm like saving up for new camera equipment so that I can do work when uni ends and stuff. So these are money I'm not going to touch unless it's like big important things. So I try, emphasis on try, at the beginning of each month, because that's when I get my money. I look at my budget, I'm like, okay, well, this is the amount I set aside for clothes, and I transfer that to my savings account. And then if I end up buying some clothes, I'll transfer it back to my card. But if I don't, then it's just there and it accumulates.
Malene, do you know what, right? This, I've noticed I've been sat quite quietly for the last sort of few minutes because honestly, like the way that you've got this absolutely locked down is like I tip my hat to you because honestly, like I'm exactly the same as you, Becki. I just sort of look at my account and I'm more of like a spontaneous on the fly sort of budgeter. So like I've tried to do it, you know, with all the receipts and but I sort of go, right, how much money have I got? Let's say £500. Let's round it to a round number, £500. And then I'm like, right, I'll spend this, spend that, yeah. Oh, okay, right, I need to reel back my spending this month or this week or today or whatever. And sort of just, I'm a reactive spender or reactive budgeter. So I will budget when I need to. Obviously, I am kind of an adult now, the great old age of 22. Like, I have started putting money into a savings account for, you know, a mortgage or a flat or, do you know what I mean? Like, as a backup. Yeah, but like I'm just that person that will obviously I always make sure I put money aside for, like I said, this saving fund, and I've got like a Help to Buy ISA as well for when I want to start buying a house or whatever. So it's not like I'm not saving for the future. It's just that when I've got all that out the way, and obviously my bills and, you know, phone bill and whatever else come out automatically. So once that's done, because I always make sure they come out at like the first of the month, so then that's it. So I know when it comes to the first of the month, I know exactly how much I've actually got to spend on life. And after that, I'm sort of like just a reactive budgeter. So like I said, if I'm getting low on money, I'll sort of go, right, okay, let's reel it back a little bit now, and then go, all right, now I can afford to do this because I've like, you know, sort of reeled it back in for spending on clothes or shoes or whatever. So it's sort of, I wish I could be as organised as you when it comes to spending and budgeting, and I wish I could have all these accounts and formulas and Google Sheets and stuff, but for me personally, it just doesn't work because when I make it more, I think it's because in my head I make it more of an issue than it is.
Yeah.
So in my head, I think I've got to sit down and spend hours working it out, and I think that's like the mental block for me is that I personally don't feel the need to do that because I know I'm on top of my money ish. Just don't look at my overdraft, but
I mean, that's also like it sounds like a lot, but like once I got it all set up, it takes me like half an hour at the beginning of each month, and then it's just like keeping
really
on top
nothing.
of it. But at the same time, like I'm 23, so it didn't happen until I turned 23, so maybe, Ben, you've got another year.
I've got a year.
Yeah. And I failed many systems, and we'll see, you know, this might not work for me in a year. But I think it is also about knowing, like, being honest with yourself and knowing what you need from a budget, because I tried to do the reactive thing and it didn't work for me. I just ended up spending too much. But if it does work for you, then there's nobody saying that you need to have like a strict system where you know everything down. Like, I think the most important thing is just being honest. Like, can I like trust myself to like check regularly and then stop spending so much? Because I'm like, I'll either just not check my account or I forget as soon as I close it and I see something I want. So like, I need that accountability. But if you don't need that, then like, don't stress about making something that's not going to work for you.
It's sort of like it's not a one size fits all sort of system. It's if it works for you, then roll with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I could sit here and say to you that I'm a reactive budgeter and I do it on the fly because that's what works for me. And if it doesn't work for you, I'm not saying that's what you should do. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sat there going, well, if you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. Or, you know, obviously Malene is the shining oracle of what you need to be doing. Because I'm not doing that, it doesn't mean that I'm doing it wrong. It just means that it doesn't work for me. And,
exactly.
You know, it's important to know that no matter, even, as long as you are roughly on top of yourself and on top of your money, you're gonna be fine. Like, I think the stereotype of uni is that you go and have a good time, and that is absolutely true. And I think budgeting is just a way of, some people may worry a little bit more than others about money. Some people may worry a little bit more about the fact that their household income isn't great, which means that their bursaries or their student finance is a little bit less than what covers it. And that's why it's so important not only to understand that you've got all the help available to you, but also that it's not the end of the world if you're not budgeting.
Yeah.
As long as you've got money and you are living happy and you're mentally happy and physically happy, you know, there's not really any issue with having a Domino's every now and again because you can. That's how I see it.
The fact that, like, what works now might change when your circumstances change, and that's okay too. So I feel like, you know, a budgeting system should be able to be fluid and kind of react to where you are in life. Because, for example, like, I know that I have things I would like to buy in a year that cost more money, so I need to, you know, be stricter and put money aside. But if I didn't have that, then I might have a bit more leeway with, like, how much I could spend on a monthly basis. So I think it is, a lot of the time is just sitting down and, like, being, like, having a conversation with yourself, like, how much money do I have? What do I want to get out of it? And how am I comfortable, like, making sure that I stick within the limits I set for myself, or student finance sets for myself, you know?
Yeah. I completely agree. And I honestly think that was a great point, because what I was just going to say is I encourage anyone listening, to go away from this and really think about how you spend money, where your money goes, what it's going on, if everything is completely, you know, necessary, if you're binging in any areas or anything like that, and create a budget that suits you and that suits how you think. And if you're more of a Ben and I kind of people, maybe try and implement some of Malena's techniques and Malena's ways and budgeting tips into your lifestyle, and see if that helps. Set up a savings account so that you're, you know, investing in your future just a little bit.
And if you're already doing what Malena's doing, you can listen to this podcast and go, I'm already great, it's fine, don't worry.
Get yourself the pinnacle
of just well-adjusted adult.
Yeah. Also, like, my last comment is, whatever you're doing, just try and give yourself a buffer, because, like, if you budget everything down to, like, the last pound, it will make things harder, because there will be a time where you just really want to go and get a pizza with your friends, and that's okay, even if it's not, like, strictly within your takeout budget. So, like, try, if it's at all possible for you, to have just a little bit extra that's just kind of there for whatever you want, because it's going to make life a bit more fun.
Yeah, 100% agree. What an amazing place to end off this episode. Like we said, please do go to the Student Support Centre for so much more information than we could possibly give on funds available to you, or bursaries, or just advice on anything funding wise, or literally anything to do with your university life. Be sure to join us next episode, where we will be talking about confidence. We would like to ask you guys to maybe drop us some questions on social media. So we have literally everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, we got Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We got it all.
YouTube, everything, and it is
the blog.
QOL Student Life. Drop us any questions that you might have about confidence, or anything that you would like us to talk about in the podcast. And of course, make sure that you like this video, that you share it, that you subscribe to the Student Life YouTube channel, and that you follow us on all of our platforms. I'd like to thank Malene for coming onto the podcast today and talking to us about budgeting, because I mean, I don't think Ben and I could have done this alone, quite frankly.
Thank you for having me. It was great to have a chat with you guys again. I always really enjoy these little podcast things whenever I'm allowed to come on.
Yeah, well, that's what we love to hear, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, we love it when guests actually enjoy themselves and are not going, I'm not doing that again.
No, definitely.
We're doing a good job
here
then,
if you
clearly.
need me.
So thank you everyone for watching or listening, however you are streaming the Fresher Take podcast. For now, I've been Becki.
I've been Ben.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Fresher Take.
See you later.